Greet you all students of ME Final, and this is paper 4th unit C. We started Nazim Askell's Knight of Scorpio, and I would like to suggest you that at ME level, when you study a poet or a literary text, see, you must quote certain articles also. So here, this is Indian writing in English. It's a nice collection of articles, and particularly when we talk about Knight of Scorpio, see, here is the line we can study this in different angles, and in-depth study at PG level is the point here. You must have studied it earlier also. At surface level, you are studying the story, and that mother, she was stung by Scorpio, and how these peasants, they had come to help her. And then we have very very important idea also, different significant ideas. We have Indian settings, the symbolism, countryside setting, and all these points, they are important. But here, try to study from different angles. Yes, and that's why I would like to quote this very very important article here. The point, quest for balance in Nazim Askell's poem. Now, what kind of balance it is? Yes, and this balance, it is integrated with humanistic values. And here, see, this line in which we have some of evil and some of good. There must be balance between contradictions, and there must be again victory of good over evil. And see the kind of the dimension, and that here poet wants to cover, he wants to engulf. What kind of dimension? It is a must to understand for in-depth study when you write an examination, even for your better knowledge, that Nazim Askell as a modern poet, when as an Indian poet, and also general estimate of the poet. See, here I would like to focus another poem. See, when you study the poem, and now what is the title? Because there is a poem of dedication. Yes. See, when you study Knight of Scorpio, in order to have better understanding, students, mind you, it is a must to study, to go through certain other poems also, because they are interconnected. There is relativity among various poems. Now, in this context, a poem of dedication, which is published in his 60 poems, and the point that I would like to focus here, the prominence of balance in human life. Now, what is the meaning of that? Because humanity has been the axis in our life. Therefore, the poet, with transparency, he he expresses his opinion that I do not want the yogi's concentration of saints, nor the tyrant's endless power. He is not too much ambitious, or he has also pointed out that practicality in human life, because you have certain liabilities, responsibilities. That's why, very frankly, honestly, he has pointed out that not want to be yogi's concentration. This is what, and I want a human balance. So try to study Nazim Askell from this angle as well, and humanly see the reiteration here in human balance, and acquired fruitful in the common hour. So fruitful, which is productive, significant, beneficial to you. And then we have justification of human life. So when we talk about the balance, come to the point in the poem that we are studying. Now, what kind of balance it is? when he talks about the sum of evil, and so there must be victory of goodness over evil. This is the point through collective voice. The collective voice of peasants he wants to focus. See, the way they had come to help the mother, and see this, there is some kind of connotation in that, Scorpio is symbol of evil. And it is when he talks about darkness, so darkness is associated with, yes, bad effect, negativity in human life. And that negativity, yes, through torch, through light, symbolism is also very important. They were looking for it. And what is the purpose, objective here? Yes, to nullify it, to uproot it, to eradicate all the evil negativity from human life. So we must study the text deeply from this angle as well. Now, what are other points? And yes, these points actually, they are integrated with each other. But students, mind you, I would like to cover other important points, some important points so far as this poem is concerned, so far as Nizam Askil as an Indian poet, as a modern poet is concerned. Yes, Nizam Askil's potential in making fabrics of poetry with simple and trivial, yes, ordinary objects. And as yesterday we discussed various titles, they are very suggestive. So idea underlying is that the poetry, when you write a poem, creative writing, it's not that it is confined to abstraction, reflective, and meditative thoughts. So here the idea of balance is integrated with this point, students, mind you. Now this balance between contradictions, and through even common, when he talks about say a railway station, or when he talks about a visitor or his morning walk, I mean, so many at that time ideas click in your mind and you can write a poem. But poem which is, yes, the poem which is integrated with balance. So through this angle you must understand the poem. Then you see the points when we talk about this commonplace, the trivial objects, simple aspects of human life can be the fabric of say a poem, and a very good subject for the poem. But the theme is very important. Yes, theme, yes, it is bondings, and focus on different kind of human relations. And we have bondings, love, compassion, fellow feelings, and different virtues in human life. And here also, when we study Night of Scorpio, see the faith among the people, among peasants and neighbors, farmers, villagers. So that's why they are so concerned with each other. So this concernedness, yes, is the focal point, pivotal point. And that's why see, one point is integrated with other, and so we have consistency in all these points. Then juxtaposition of two contradictions, as we were discussing, the sum of evil and sum of good. The poet here again, he wishes to focus the point of, say, the specific purpose, yes, the point of goodness in human life, and which is again averse to negativity. So uprooting, eradicating all the evil from society. And this is through one example of commonplace, as in the first point I discussed this point, through commonplace examples, through day-to-day life events. You can say quote certain very, very simple objects, and through and idealizing and universalizing them is the point here. So significance of spiritualism also, when the collective voice, they said, people they were of the opinion that through spirituality, religiosity, it is possible to uproot the evil, the all the bad effect of Scorpio's sting. So here we have the point, the suffering and prenatal existence and all that points he has covered here through the voice, collective voice of the people, peasants. And yes, they have, when again see the balance word quest of in that article, just you must have gone through, or you just had a look at that article, which was quest of balance is there. Even in the here in the piece of understand now what is the purpose when you do any task honestly or sincerely, as these peasants, example of these peasant collective voice, they said repeatedly, reiteration of this reiteration. So repetition is a literary device just to focus certain important point. Yes, so if you do certain tasks, certain mission, certain kind of activity with intensity, honestly, sincerely, then you would develop understanding. So the peace of mind you would gain. So this is again, we have importance of humanistic values. So peace of understanding they have, because again see the integration among all these points, they have faith that definitely she will be recovered. So this kind of faith, this kind of deeper understanding peasants they have. So all these points now come to the point that we were discussing yesterday. I just touched the point, dramatic effect. See, in the beginning when I discussed that at this level, mind you, I reiterate this important point. Try to understand a poem through different angles. Fine, it's the story narrative of that the narrative of that particular villagers, peasants, and the mother, how she has undergone agony, and the poet as a speaker, he was deeply concerned about her recovery. So I mean, this is a kind of story narrative. It has been going on. But yes, dramatic effect of this poem is equally important. And the poetism Aeschylus, he has passion for theatrical skills. So now, how would you understand this point? This is what I want to highlight again. Now, when we talk about now, if I put up this question, virtual teaching and learning, you are sitting in front of me, I would put up this question: what are important points in a drama? What is exactly dramatic effect here? Obviously, you would answer that we have characters, we have dialogues, and yes, we have theme and scenes. Now, characters. Now, what? Yes, what kind of say characteristic features we have, and who are these characters? Yes, answer is obvious. Thus, we have mother, we have speakers. But see, throughout you must have noticed there is some kind of dramatic effect in the mystery and suspense, that see the problem that they have faced, and now they are making strenuous endeavors to sort out the problem, and readers, they are also curious to know. So see, the readers, they are getting involved with that, so they are also, so this kind of bondings among readers, characters, and the poet, yes, among all of us. So mother, speaker, and peasants, holy man, and father, and their collective voice. So we have then, yes, now it is reminiscent of Robert Browning's dramatic monologue, and you must have studied it at BA level. So here it is, if not exactly dramatic monologue, because it's the poet's expression, it is his utterance, and throughout he has use the words like they said, and there is correspondence between the first line and the last line in correspondence, in which he has highlighted the point of idealized motherhood, her characteristic features. I mean, heights of love, goodness, sacrifice, and all that. So this kind of correspondence between the two. So we have, the here sequence, we can say it is a dramatic sequence, utterance, expression, monologue. But the effect, what kind of effect? Through dialogues. So dialogues, the not directly, they are having conversation and dialogues, but they said, yes, it's a very nice technique, dramatic technique the poet has used through mother said, and we come to know about other characters. And see, in dramatic monologue, the difference is that in dramatic monologue, the characters mentioned, as in Robert Browning's poems, they are passive rather, they are passive listeners, but here they are actively participating in that. Okay, so then we come to the point of scene, yes, which is very, very important. Now we have 9 scenes in this particular poem. So the scenes, when you study this poem at surface level, you must be confronting with different characters, or you must be delving deep in the narrative of the poem, the theme of the poem. And we have different kind of aspects, and we have important themes in this, as we discussed earlier, the bondings, Indian settings. Indianness is one of the important themes, countryside setting, and the kind of, say, compassion among the people. So, I mean, human relations and humanistic values, that we have already discussed these points, and we will discuss in much detail. But this now the point from this angle, that we have 9 scenes in this poem. See, in this Knight of Scorpio, first scene, yes, in which we come to know about how the mother, she was stung by the Scorpio. So this is a reminiscence, the technique of reminiscence, and the mother, she has undergone the agony when she was stung by a Scorpio. So diabolic, now symbolism simultaneously. Symbolism is also important. Some diabolic evil, some negativity in human life, that is Scorpio too. I mean, so here the purpose is specific purpose, objective is to nullify it. So this is reminiscence, the first memoirs. And yes, mother, she has been axis throughout, center staged, the character of mother. This is first scene. Now here in the second scene, we have depiction of religiosity, religious faith. Now these farmers and peasants, they had come to help the mother. So I mean, this religious faith, it is highlighted, and uprooting the evil is the purpose. Now in the third scene, we have impact of light. Yes, symbolism simultaneously. Light is symbol of goodness, and solution of problem at the same time, and happiness, joy in human life. So contradiction, on the one hand evil, and on the other hand light. So significance of light for eradicating negativity. Then fourth scene, in which we have dogmas, belief. What kind of beliefs and dogmas? Yes, prenatal existence. They have faith. These are certain creeds and dogmas, belief. And again, the point of balance in human life, some of good and some of evil. The prenatal existence must be because of that. So many reasons behind it. Then fifth scene. In fifth scene, we have importance of purification. And yes, we have depiction of purification, suffering, and if desire, ambition. All we have depiction in holy scriptures, be Bhagavad Gita, Bible, or Quran Sharif. We have depiction of that we must have this kind of deeper understanding about this purification of human life through suffering, because she has undergone agony and she was suffering this acute pain in her. And the purpose, what is the specific purpose of the peasants? They, yes, they wish to recover it. The earliest recovery of mother. They were so concerned about it, and that's why they have been making strenuous endeavors for that. Then we have sixth scene in which, see the significance again, repetitive device in more candles and lantern, symbol of light and happiness also. I mean, this is solution of we are towards the solution of this problem. Okay, so dramatic effect throughout, you must have noticed. And then we have this is sixth scene in which role of his father. Then again, yes, juxtaposition of, yes, here we have rationalism, and on the other hand spiritualism. So role of father, yes, very very important, role of father. And then we see the practical approach, his practical approach and scientific approach. And she was given medicine also. I mean, this is also, I mean, necessary for earliest recovery. That's why, scientific. So balance again, yes, the point, the theme of balance between scientific approach, practical approach, and spirituality. I mean, she must be given medicine also. It's not that extreme all the time, only they are not doing anything, and or they have this much of faith. So this is what poet wants to here focus the point, that we must have balance in human life. So father's approach is also, in a way, it is, yes, it is right. Then eighth scene, again it depicts the religiosity. Yes, holy man, when the poet, he mentions holy man, he has been chanting mantras. Incantation is also very important. And now what is the result of that? Yes, concluding lines again, which is the substantial dimension of entire poem. Substantial point, very very prominent, pivotal point in this. And the utterance of mother, which signifies the heights of goodness, self-effacing love, sacrifice, when she said, thank God the scorpion picked on me and, yes, spared my children. So she is really symbol of goodness. This is what exactly the poet wishes to highlight, that in Indian life, and even it has great universal appeal also, the motherhood everywhere, all the time she is keen to sacrifice for children. So certain important dimensions that formulate the fabric of this poem. Yes, we'll continue. Thank you.